Hey y'all, it's me, Dree. So today with my emotion oracle cards, I pulled doubt, perplexity, helplessness. So, what I'm getting here is that the collective, y'all are definitely sitting in doubt. Y'all are questioning whether that y'all can trust yourselves or maybe trust somebody else or maybe even trust the direction a situation appears to be moving in. And then perplexity, well, this feels shared. It feels like neither side here fully understands what is happening just yet. And I'm getting that there may still be pieces of this situation that have not revealed themselves fully. But with helplessness, well, this feels like somebody in the energy field who is starting to realize that they may not be able to control exactly what happens next. So I'm getting this is feeling a lot like a message that has to do with trust, uncertainty, and a turning point that is forcing clarity. Now let's get into this message. We're starting under this undertone of doubt. And underneath the doubt, I have the tarot. We start with the Three of Wands, the Hermit reverse, and the Eight of Wands. So, with this Three of Wands, what I'm getting here is that this collective has been leveling up. Y'all have been making progress. Y'all have been getting more in sync with yourselves. Y'all have been learning how to consciously create a reality that actually reflects the person y'all are becoming. And I'm getting that for a lot of y'all. I think y'all have started seeing evidence that this is actually working. And getting that things y'all have been trying to manifest are starting to come in. Y'all's reality is starting to shift. And naturally, the question here has to become, well, what reality do I want to dream up next, right? Because this Three of Wands, this is about progress, big developments, leveling up, and manifesting your dreams. So I don't think the collective is doubting whether they can manifest anymore. No, I think the doubt has to have started because something has now shown up inside of this new reality. Because underneath this Three of Wands, I have the Hermit reversed. And this is where I think the energy becomes shared. The Hermit reverse, this puts fear, isolation, restriction, and paranoia into the equation. So I'm getting the collective understands why y'all feel protective. Y'all know what y'all have been through. Y'all know what makes y'all pull back. Y'all know why y'all don't immediately hand somebody access to y'all just because something feels exciting. But what I'm really getting is that somebody else has entered the collective's manifestation, and they are mirroring some of this same energy back to the collective, because this person that has entered, they also seem restricted. They also seem afraid. And they also appear to be pulling themselves inward. And that has to be where the doubt really starts to set in, because the collective is sitting here saying, I understand why I'm afraid, but why are they afraid? Y'all understand y'all's own protection, but I'm getting y'all don't necessarily understand theirs. And naturally, that can make y'all question the manifestation in itself, couldn't it? Because you find yourself asking, did I misread this? Did I manifest something that isn't actually aligned? Or did I somehow call in another version of an old lesson? But then we have the Eight of Wands. This is a card about swift progress, communication, alignment, and movement. So what this card is telling me is that when y'all connected, things really took off. There was movement. There was communication. There was something immediate about this connection. Whatever the connection was, it didn't need to be forced. There was natural momentum here. And that is exactly why the collective is confused now. Because this connection did not begin in stagnation. No. This connection began in movement. And the movement felt aligned, happening in real time. Y'all had already been leveling up. Y'all had already been manifesting something, and then something came into y'all's reality. And when it arrived, it moved fast. And then somewhere inside of that movement, both of y'all hit fear. So now I'm getting the collective is trying to reconcile two things. One, if this wasn't aligned, why did it move like this? And two, but if it was aligned, why are both of us suddenly acting like little baby hermits now? And that naturally brings us to perplexity. Because perplexity is that feeling of not being able to fully understand your current situation. Y'all know something happened, but maybe y'all don't understand what it means. And again, I do feel like this perplexity is being shared in the energy field, because both of y'all appear to be standing inside of something that moved, connected, and then hit a phase of fear and isolation. And this perplexity card, well, that is telling y'all, do not force the answer. And that matters. Because when something stops making sense, we tend to immediately want to solve it, don't we? We ask, what happened? What changed? What does this mean? And where is this going? But this perplexity emotion, it says the answer may not be available yet because the situation itself is still developing. And then under this perplexity, I have the Death reverse, Seven of Cups reverse, and the Knight of Cups. So, death. This is internal change, clearing, purging, and transforming. So, I'm getting the energy in this field is changing. Something is being stripped out. Something is being transformed. And what I'm getting is that whatever is not aligned with where this connection is trying to go, that has to be cleared out of the field first. So maybe that is fear. Maybe it's old beliefs. Maybe it is old attachment patterns. Maybe it is just the way either one of you responds when vulnerability starts becoming real. Whatever it is, I'm getting that something within the current form of this connection cannot remain exactly as it is. Something has to change so that something new can evolve in its place. And I'm getting that that's why this perplexity card says not to force the answer. Because y'all are trying to understand something while it is still changing its form. So instead, let it transform. Let the energy clear. Because next, we get the Seven of Cups reversed. And on this deck, the Seven of Cups is about clarity of thought, focus, seeing a clear choice, and becoming decisive. And I think that is exactly what this transformation is making room for now. And getting that once the fear settles, once the old stuff gets exposed, and once what doesn't belong gets cleared out, then both people can see the situation much more clearly. And then the choice becomes much more concrete. Because then y'all can actually ask, what is this? What do I want? What is actually workable here? What is my fear? And what is the truth? And the important thing is that the clarity, that is not being forced. It is being created naturally through this transformation. And then the center column ends on the Knight of Cups. Coins, I'm sorry. We have the Knight of Coins, and I think this card shows us the direction things might be able to move towards once this rebirth is complete. This is grounded, practical, responsible, patient, and slow. And slow, that's important because I'm really getting if both of y'all entered this connection carrying some version of this hermit reverse energy. Of course, the pace needs to change. Maybe this Eight of Wands, maybe that was here to serve as the way that y'all could recognize each other. Because it was immediate. There was movement. And there was enough alignment for both people to know that something was happening. But once the deeper fears surfaced, the pace had to slow down. Not because nothing is there, but maybe because if something real is going to grow, it has to move at a pace where both people can actually stay present. This Knight of Coins says, be practical, be responsible, be patient. It says, let trust build. And it says, let loyalty reveal itself over time. Because, you guys, intensity, that can happen very quickly. But trust, that usually does not. And I'm getting, if both people here are protective, then what matters right now is whether words and actions start matching consistently enough for something more grounded to actually take root. And then the final emotion card that we have is helplessness. And I think this card is starting by speaking to both people here. Because this card tells y'all not to give up just because y'all feel like you have lost control of the circumstance. Sometimes the turning point is hidden inside of the exact moment where y'all feel like there is nothing y'all can do. And what I think is that both of y'all are being urged to step outside of this little hermit mindset. Because if both people respond to fear by retreating, then nothing moves. Nobody knows what the other person is thinking. Nobody knows what path the other person wants to take. And then the connection, it starts to feel, well, impossible, right? But let's see what is driving this helplessness home. I've got the Wheel of Fortune, the Two of Swords, the Hierophant reverse. So this Wheel of Fortune, this is a decisive moment. It's about expansion, change, and it's very much an it's time kind of energy. So I'm getting with this card that it is here to say, now is the time to act. Now is the time to keep things moving according to what destiny has already aligned. Because this connection did not enter through stagnation. No, it didn't. This connection entered through swift movement. And I'm getting that something happened here that both people felt. Now the wheel is here saying, this moment matters. This is a defining moment for expansion. And then with the Two of Swords, this brings indecision, an unclear path, withholding, and a clear stalemate. So I'm getting right now the connection that is at an impasse. And once again, both of y'all are mirroring each other. So both of y'all are unclear about the path in front of y'all. And because neither one of y'all knows exactly what the next move should be, well, both of y'all are withholding altogether. Because I'm getting nobody wants to expose themselves first. Nobody wants to make the wrong decision. But I'm getting that this is not the correct form to be standing in when the wheel is saying it's time to move. Because there is a difference between slowing something down so that it can become grounded and stopping it completely because both people are afraid. The Knight of Coins is slow. The Two of Swords is stagnant. It doesn't move. So those are not the same thing. This Knight of Coins, he still moves. The Two of Swords says, I don't know which path to choose, so I'm choosing nothing at all. And I'm really getting that the wheel is challenging that thought. What are both of y'all actually going to do with what this connection has exposed? And that leads us and ends the message with this Hierophant reversed. This is about a non-conforming structure. It's about challenging the status quo, thinking for yourself, and this card represents freedom. And what I'm getting here is that the structure of beliefs both of y'all are operating from, that needs to be sorted through. Y'all's belief about connection, y'all's beliefs about safety, beliefs about vulnerability, and beliefs about what happens when somebody gets close. Beliefs about what y'all should do when fear gets activated. Because I'm getting those structures may be exactly what is creating the stalemate. Maybe one person believes that when things get emotionally complicated, the safest response is to take distance. Maybe the other person believes that when somebody creates distance, the safest response is to shut the door. And now, because of those belief structures, we have two people who are reinforcing the very fears that made them retreat in the first place. So this Hierophant is coming in reverse to say, think for yourself. Challenge the structure. Challenge the belief. Ask whether the rules have been using. Ask yourself if the rules y'all have been using to protect yourselves are actually helping y'all navigate the reality in front of y'all right now. Because what I'm getting is that something can protect y'all in one chapter and then become a hurdle in another. And I think both parties here are being asked to challenge those hurdles. Neither person is being asked to abandon their boundaries. Neither person is being asked to ignore what they have learned. You both are being asked to sort through what is genuinely protecting you and what is simply keeping you stuck. Because I'm getting that once both the people here do that, they are granted the freedom to make an actual choice. And when they do make that actual choice, it can finally be grounded, practical, rooted, and genuinely in each other's best interest. And I think that is really where this message is landing today. Because I'm getting y'all manifested something that came in with real movement and alignment. But both people hit fear once the connection started asking for something deeper. Perplexity, that's telling you not to force an answer while the energy is still transforming, because this death is clearing what is no longer aligned. The Seven of Cups is bringing clarity, and the Knight of Coins shows that whatever happens next needs to move slowly, practically, and with clear intention. And also, slow movement, that is not the same as a stalemate. The wheel is saying this is a defining moment. And the Two of Swords says both people are currently withholding because neither one is clear on the path. So the Hierophant is coming in naturally. And it serves as a lesson. Think for yourself. Challenge the beliefs that are keeping you stuck. Because once both people sort through the structures they are operating from, they both individually become free enough to make a grounded choice about what is actually in their best interest. I don't know. Maybe the manifestation, maybe it was never meant to hand y'all the finished reality. Maybe it came in to show y'all what still had to transform before that reality could actually be built. Because after all, you guys, connections, they don't magically just appear in your reality and everything is just roses and pie. Real connections, aligned connections, those are built. They don't just arrive. So the question becomes, can both of y'all pull yourselves out of this fear? Challenge the structures that keep y'all stuck. And see if there's a future y'all can work towards. And that's the message that I have for y'all today. So if this one landed, then like my message. If you made it to the end, then leave me a comment and let me know. And make sure y'all are following along. And remember, where there is love, there is light. I'll see y'all again real soon.